welcome back to another video from Dramatik, and today we will be going all the way to Japan because we will be talking about what is NOH Theatre, why did it come about, and how does it look like. So some of the key characteristics of NOH Theatre. Let's check it out. NOH Theatre is a specific kind of masked lyric dance theatre that originated from Japan during the mid-14th century, and it was originally a pastime for the elites. And we have over 250 surviving plays, some of which are from 650 years ago. There is a myth about the origin of theatre in Japan, and the legend goes a little something like this. Once upon a time, there was the sun goddess, and her name was Amaterasu. One day, she had a very big argument with her brother, and she got so upset that she decided to run away from her home and hide inside a cave. And this obviously caused a lot of panic to the rest of the other gods and goddesses, because suddenly the world was dark. One particular god, the goddess of meditation and dawn, came up with a brilliant idea. She was like, we are going to perform a dance and a sort of performance, and I am sure that this is really gonna lure out the sun goddess. And that is exactly what happened. When the other gods and goddesses started performing, the sun goddess actually was so curious that she peeked outside of her cave, and because she peeked outside of her cave, the other gods and goddesses were able to really pull her out from the cave, block the entrance of the cave, and light was returned to the world. The myth in itself reveals a great deal about the impact and the importance of shamanism in Japan's early performing arts, where art and theatre are seen as gateways into welcoming gods into the material world and into the community. And back to NOH, this is why a majority of the main characters and the plot feature gods, spirits, and other worldly entities, priests and shamans. And we see in NOH Theatre the merging of the spiritual and material world during the performance in itself. Looking at how NOH Theatre was specifically developed in Japan, so even though Japan was considered a relatively self-isolated country compared to the rest of the world, the Silk Road actually brought in a continuous flow of goods and information, and that is exactly how Sangaku was brought into Japan from China. And Sangaku was quickly integrated with Japan's unique performing arts culture and developed into Sarugaku, which is a quasi-circus form of performing arts that included juggling, acrobatics, and dances. And from Saraguku, then you have the pairing, the father and son pairing of Kanami and Zeami Motokiyo, who took its dancing and singing aspects from Sarugaku and elevated and transformed it into a completely new form of theatre called NOH Theatre. When we are looking at NOH Theatre and some of its key characteristics, we may feel taken aback because we're like, whoa, that looks more like a dance routine than actually a theatre performance. However, we need to keep in mind that in traditional Japanese theatre, dance is not seen as a separate discipline, but rather as an intrinsic part of theatre. And in this way, actors are considered dancers, and dance actually forms the basis of the movement and gestures in traditional Japanese theatre. That is why in NOH Theatre, dance is not a subcategory of acting, and instead acting is an aspect of dance. Starting with staging and stagecraft. The NOH stage is incredibly beautiful and intricate, and it's one of the most unique stages that I have ever seen. Definitely one that sparks joy in my heart. NOH Theatre actually has a raised stage that protrudes out into the audience with no curtains separating the stage from the audience, and there are three main things that you have to look out for. The first one is the mirror room, also known as the Kagami no Ma, and this is basically the wings or the backstage where the performers wait to enter the stage, and it is also where the main actor, called Shite, puts on his masks and gets into his role in front of a large mirror showing his reflection. It is also where the instrumentalists play and tune their instruments, which actually signal to the audience that the performance is about to begin. Covering the mirror room is 5 colored silk curtains, and these 5 colors reflect the 5 elements of the Chinese yin and yang philosophy, which is the earth, wind, fire, water, and metal. The second important thing is the bridgeway, which is also known as the hashigakari. And this bridgeway is between 10 to 60 meters long, and it connects the mirror room to the main stage. And it is not only used for performers to enter and exit, but it has significant symbolic value, because it represents the path between the material world to the spiritual world, and in some cases even the path between the past and the present. The third most important aspect of the NOH stage is the main stage itself, and that is called the honbutai. And this is an open square stage, and the pillars not only support the roof but also act as a function to a visual guidepost for masked actors, because when these actors are wearing masks, they have to see through only small eye mask holes, so these poles actually form a visual guide. Moving on to the acting roles and characters. In NOH Theatre, there is only 6 roles, and these 6 roles are fixed. The first role is called Shite, and it is the main character. The main character wears a mask, and their role can be divided into 5 different types of category, which determines the type of role that they play. The second fixed role is called Waki, and this role is the actor playing opposite to the main character. So it is usually like the second main character, but it's not really a main character, because in NOH Theatre there is only one main character, and the Waki does not usually wear a mask, and is usually an adult male character that lives in the present world. So this character can be a priest, shaman, samurai, or monk, and during the performance, the Waki actually is the person that is interacting with the Shite to bring out the main plot and the story point of the performance. The third fixed role is the role of a chorus, and this is called Jiutai. The chorus sets the scene and describes the mental state of the character. The fourth fixed role in NOH Theatre is the musicians, and they are called the Hayashis. They also use Yutai, which is a form of vocal music produced by abdominal breathing. And Yutai can be used by both the chorus or the other characters as well. The fifth fixed role is the role of Koken. Now, Koken is the replacement of the main character in case anything happens to the main character and they're not able to perform. And finally, the sixth and last fixed role of NOH Theatre is actually the other supporting actors that are going to help bring up the background story. Looking at the plot and structure of NOH Theatre, it starts with an empty stage, and then the audience hears the sound of instruments from the mirror room, which actually signal to the audience that the performance is about to begin. And then you have the performers appearing. First you have the musicians, and then you have the chorus, then the stage props are brought in, and then the Waki enters. The second most important main character enters from the mirror room onto the stage and gives an introduction of who he is, what is his journey. Then only the main character Shite appears, wearing a mask and a beautiful ornate costume, and they only respond to questions posed by the Waki. After the main character exits the stage, it signals the end of the performance for the first half, so Act 1. And then for the second act, so the second half of the performance, the Shite re-enters but takes on a different appearance from the first half, signaling that they are actually a ghost or a god or a demon appearing in their true form. And this is when the Shite chants and dances, telling their story before exiting the stage. The other performers will then exit the stage and props are brought off stage, bringing the play to an end with an empty stage. So what is most significant about NOH is that it starts and ends with a completely empty stage. Moving on to mask and the use of props. There are over 60 different types of masks, and a single mask can actually show a wealth of expression based on the way that the Shite or actor move their face slightly. Looking at the other types of props, usually in a NOH Theatre performance, only one significant prop will be used in the entire performance. Moving on to the gestures and movement, NOH Theatre has a very specific way and technique of walking and a very specific way and technique of standing. So that is all for today. I really hope that you have gained value watching this video, and if you have, remember to help your little drama queen out by hitting that like button. Yep, until next time guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye!